And I kind of lead the Kerala Association of Muslim Professionals. I'm not going to tell much about ourselves. We're just a professional group, originally from Kerala in South India, and all of us are settled in the UK. So we got doctors, engineers, IT professionals, business professionals, solicitors, and the entire and also we include everybody else in the community as well. The main idea why it formed as a professional group is to help and support professional events, education, training, medical conferences, medical talks, medical careers, and that's why we started as a professional group, nothing beyond that. Alhamdulillah, we started in, it's about 4 years ago now. This is our 21st event. For a small group of 150 families, I think we try to do programs once every 2 months. That includes sporting events as well. So we do have a cricket team, although we're rubbish at it. I'd like to thank everybody. It's been indeed a great pleasure, because like doctors, most of us doctors, we don't have a clue about business. So luckily we have quite learned people amongst our midst who are going to come and educate us. I'd like to thank all the sponsors. We know whom they are. So I'm not going to name individually, but through the course of the talk we'll say who they are. We have a couple of chief guests. This is arriving, Mr. Iqbal Azim, who is the CEO of the National Zakat Foundation, and Mr. Jacob Tundal, who is the owner of Kokafina branch. So they're going to be here. They are on the way, I've been told. I'd also like to acknowledge Riyas, who is the brain behind all this. He's just on his way. And Zuhair, these are the two people who actually made me think about doing something like this, and all the other people around it. I'd like to acknowledge our organizing secretary, who's Rubas, and Ziad. They are the main people, the backbone who made all this. There's a lot of work behind this. You can imagine, we started from a clean slate. We didn't have a clue, right? So there was a lot of work behind it with all these people. There are other organizations, allied Kerala organizations. Zahir is here, Mr. Zahir from MMCWA. We had Lumma. Lumma was a big support from the Luton Muslim Association. We also have Emma. Shajin is here, Roxy is here, Sagir is here. These are all our sister concerns. We've been having a lot of support and help from them, and also from Al Ihsan Group. A few housekeeping rules. The fire exits I can see, these are the doors over here. There's no false alarm, so if there's alarm, it's going to be true. It goes straight from the car park. The toilets are, as you go out, it's on the left, and there are a few toilets on the restaurant area as well. I would like to request kindly for all the mobiles to be put in vibration mode, if that's okay. And also mention about the car parking reminder. The rough outline of the program, we have 5 sections. The section 1 is about investments, section 2 is about mortgages and pensions. Afternoon we talk about business startups, and the last session will be about taxation. And the session 5 will be the Q&A, in which you just meet up with all the speakers. So hopefully, there are tea breaks in between all these sessions. The program is a bit tight, and we do apologize for it. There won't be enough time to go into detail. Unfortunately, the way it started, and then it actually ended up having a lot more people coming in. So we do apologize for it. So you would actually argue, and all of the speakers, you would say, probably it's a 2-day program. But bear with us. And I think I will end there. We do have evaluation forms in your packs. We would like to get a feedback. I would like to thank every one of you who come from all parts of UK, Newcastle, Wales, Manchester, London, east of England. So thank you. Once again, a big thank you to all of you, and also a big thanks to the speakers and our sponsors. So I'm not going to spend too much time. Let me introduce Dr. Siddique Pulakal. He is our chairman of KAMP. He's our sort of inspiration. He's done a lot of work. He's the chairman of Silver Mountain International School. He's a consultant, a respiratory physician. He's done a lot of stuff. Right? He's one of the founder members of Mufid. So he is going to talk to us briefly about our charity work. Over to you, Dr. Siddique.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning all. One of the reasons most of us are here, I mean in this country, most of us are for one reason. Not because most of us are immigrants here, either first generation or second generation. It's not because we born into rich families, I don't think, or not we had good connections. I think the main reason for most of us is our educational background, or support, mentoring, guidance we got from our parents, our community, and our friends and teachers. Now, obviously, it's a very young organization, and we always thought about doing this charity, because that's part of all our life in one or the other way. Wherever we touch in our life, there is an element of charity. So we thought about doing charity. Obviously, the first thing comes to everybody's mind is money, because charity is always equals to kind of money for most of the people. But then, our strength, I don't think we are that come to a kind of rich category. We have a comfortable living, but we are not in the rich category. But then what we are rich in, what is our strength is our skills, our kind of a background, our skills and resources. So we thought that's probably something, if you have to concentrate on a charity, that's maybe some area we need to take it on. So we thought education, training and empowerment of the society, that's where apart more than money, we eat individually, not just the organization, to be able to put something into it, some kind of a value added concept. So that's what we thought we will, as a theme, the KAMP decided that would be kind of our overall kind of strategic direction where we want to concentrate. But of course, humanitarian causes is also important, because we do a lot of sufferings. It may not be something long term, but we are all kind of emotionally, and sometimes we do get sensitized to those kind of areas. So we cannot completely turn away from these humanitarian causes as well. So we just try to find a kind of a balance between education, training, empowerment, a kind of a long strategy, and also humanitarian kind of causes. So that's what again we have a kind of a two phase. One is we all come from different continents, so we see that, but also we are living here. This is the present. So we need to get a balance in that activities as well. So what we do is we do a kind of activities both in India mainly, but also in UK and international. And then we try to kind of a balance between our kind of a long-term strategy, but again, what is the kind of humanitarian immediate needs. So just now, this is one of the career workshop, that the first career workshop what we did in 2016, very successful. Now, this is a charity event. This is a charity event, not from the registration money what we get, maybe a few £1,000, not from the sponsorship. Of course, we get a few £1,000, we can go to it, but that's not the charity part. That's not the main charity part of this. So, for example, like all the people, those who are spend time. So, for example, Dr. Riyas and Salam, if you count the hours what they put into it, if they just even put like maybe half or 1/10 of that time into their work, they can take maybe 10 times of this money, if you want pound and counts. But that's not the charity. But what the time what they're giving, because this is the resource, what they're trying to do is, with this event, if whatever happens, what the good happens out of this event, so for example, like what you learn and what you do, and then what you get back, give it to the community. That is the kind of charitable part of this event. So that is why, even when we do all these kind of events, even though it may not look like for a kind of immediate effect, what the charity is, and okay, we are paying, and somebody is coming, they may get a personal benefit from it, but we don't see that way. So all the events what we do, that's a kind of the long term what we are looking at, that kind of aspect. Again, career workshop, we did another one. A lot of very young children from, especially from London area, from our community, those who don't have access to the career guidance, so they got benefit from it. Of course, Alhamdulillah, they will be in some time, they will be contributing much more than, probably more than us, to this community in one time. These are the project what we do in India. Again, employability enhancement program with our partners in Siddique. That's a big group we are working with for a long time. And again, small kind of project we have done with the special educational needs and disability. Some of the small children homes we are supported with the equipments and all related to the kind of training needs. Now, obviously, as I mentioned, humanitarian causes we cannot turn away, whatever we have, because we all kind of, emotionally, and we do see a lot of sufferings from day to day. So we cannot, completely turn away from that. So we, of course, with the zakat money, we have done, whatever we can, especially in India or in Kerala, different health project support and orphans and destitutes and house construction, all that kind of things which matters for an ordinary people in a day-to-day life. We are trying to balance that with our activity. Thanks. Now, this is one of the last program we did recently. We just completed, and this is probably one of our highest, biggest what we've done. Obviously, we all are shocked by what happened in the Rohingya, and so we. Again, nearly more than 10,000 pounds we collected only from our members or our kind of people, those who are in our kind of WhatsApp group or we know each other. We collected more than 10,000 pounds. That's again we for a well-being center in Rohingya camp. This is the last one we have done. We have done same thing for Syrian refugees and other kind of a small project we have done here in UK as well. Now, this is the next big program we want to take, and the proceedings from this particular, the financial thing, what we get from this is going to, for this project. That's we call it SAFA, Supported Active Foster Assistance. This is done again in Kerala with the support of Siddique. There's our partners to deliver this program. Now, I'm working with Siddique for with another project for a long time with these orphanages and related education training. Now, our community is very good at looking after our poor people or orphans. We are generally very good. But what we give is, if you look at it, we give them a shelter, we give them a food, and then some kind of basic needs. But sometimes beyond that, we don't think about it. So, because I visited so many orphanages there and I've seen in my own kind of experience, they go there as an orphan into an institution. After 10 years or 12 years, whatever, they come out as an orphan with that kind of same kind of, the complex, the same kind of their social interaction, everything, so they become for their life. So now this need to change. So this project is a kind of a little bit of different thinking in that sense. So when there is a orphan in a kind of particular area, we just keep them with the family, and the financial support is people are giving there, because there are a lot of people they give every month what are the kind of food, but we are not going into that area. But what we are trying to do is get all that kind of a family together, and then we give a kind of a two approach. One is we concentrate on the child and what we need to do more than food and shelter and clothes, what we need to do for the proper development of the child to become a kind of a productive member of the society. And then, the next one. But they are living with the family, so we also empower with a kind of similar mirror imaging with their mothers, so that they just kind of in synchrony, so that we will get the best we can get from that same environment, empower them, give them kind of the dignity, but also their social skills, and then so we will kind of interfere in all the areas. We may not give much of money. We don't give much. There are enough people there to give money, because money is not the issue. Because that is not what our expertise is. Our expertise is kind of trying to interfere where we can make a difference, but not with the money. So that's obviously that all the details now. We're just starting this project. What I would like to do is I would like all of you to contribute, not exactly in terms of money, for kind of what resources and skills you have, because that is our group is about. So we need to give back, and we need to get that. That's what we want from you, more than the kind of a financial. Because there is a lot of program, there is a lot of scope for that program. It is only a kind of a small pilot program we are doing, but that can be extended to kind of a large level if we can all put our time and mind together. So I don't think I need to, this is a money making or money spending. So what is this whole thing about? So I'm not going to take much of time, and thank you for listening, and please engage with us, not only on this charity aspect of it, but in the general, because Riyas is trying to do a lot of engagement sessions and for the camp and to put us together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Siddique. That's nicely set the scene for the day, and to give you an overview of what we actually do, what this camp is all about. A lot of people have been asking questions about that. Just a reminder, if anybody has not picked up the welcome packs, there are welcome packs outside, especially those who came early. So just to get that contains all the information. I think now we'll start the program. So we're running half an hour late, so do apologies for that. Obviously, as Asians and Indians, we're never known to start on time, so we have to keep it up all the time. So I do apologies for that. Now we'll get started with the program. So the very first section is session on investment, and Mr. Salam is here. He is kindly chairing the session, so I'll hand it over to him. He's one of our IT whiz kids. Okay, he's not a kid. Yeah, he's one of that's the terminology. He knows everything, most about IT, database, and all that sort of stuff. So I think I don't want to embarrass him. I'll give the phone over to him.
Thank you very much, Riyas. That was very generous of you, anyway. Okay, while he's connecting, that next is this session is about investments in India as well as in the UK, and the first speaker is one of our. I don't think you need any introduction of Zuhail. Zuhail has been part of KAMP for some time. He's originally from Thrissur, and he has done his MBA from London Metropolitan University. After that, he went to work for British Army. He looks like one as well, and then he has started he had a interest in quite a few companies. He has built one of his own company called iAbsorber, which he sold to which was acquired by another company, and now he's into the different kind of investments, including cryptocurrencies. And he'll be talking about cryptocurrencies. Unfortunately it's only about 20 minutes, which I don't think you'll get the full picture. But I don't know how he's queued up, but he'll be trying to give you as much information as he can. So without further ado, this is Zuhail about cryptocurrency. Give him a big hand, please.
Thank you. Before I start, I would like to play a quick video about the financial matters that happen in our society and which leads to financial crisis. I don't want to play that full video, and I just want to give you an introduction into it.
Bankers and politicians decided that it was in the country's best interest, and theirs, to have a permanent central bank. They created the Federal Reserve. Among its jobs, expand or contract the supply of a single national currency, the Federal Reserve note. The dollar was tied to gold, and strategic control of it would avoid booms that lead to busts. And At least that was the plan. Then came 1929.